best way to motivate people is just giving them as much autonomy as possible, letting them be in a position that, especially those that want it, hey, you're good, take the shot with 4 seconds left on the clock. That's fine. And if they miss it, don't beat them up about it, because you want to be able to make them to take that shot again, because eventually they'll start making them on a regular basis. So I think people, and the right people that you hire, tend to be very self-motivated, and you just have to figure out how to put them in the right position to take advantage of that.
So when you're hiring people, you look for like the people with the self-motivation, but for like the people you do hire, would you consider them diverse, like in your organization?
Yeah, I would, and that's, obviously just everything that's gone on, I think, in the last year, it's even a bigger focus for everybody. But yeah, it's really important to be diverse, and it's something that as a company, it's one of the reasons why recently we took recruiting, which we used out external recruiters, and we brought the function now in-house for the first time, because we want to be able to better control the pool of candidates that our hiring managers see, and making sure that pool is diverse from the beginning. So we start making sure that our hiring practices are really reflecting the population of the city that we're in and the country. And recently, my CEO, who was just appointed to the CEO of the company, we worked to bring in the first female board member the company's ever had. We changed our policy on leave associated with pregnancy, and giving 16 weeks off. And that part of that is also, that's an attractive policy that also will help us recruit more women in the future, because it's an attractive policy. So we do spend more time than ever before, and I think at times more times than most, making sure that we are reflecting that, and we've gone through our comp and the way men, women, different levels of diversity and their roles, and how that compensation works in the company, to make sure that we're never at an imbalance.
You mentioned how you have many women policies that are attractive and would give or would attract more women to join your company. But do you feel that it's harder for women to develop a leadership style?
I would definitely not say. I would say that women can develop a leadership style as anybody else. And I've worked, for me personally, I've worked for some really talented women over the years, and especially like one of my first jobs out of college. And I mean, I still talk to her. She's a mentor to me. And I think, the fact that someone's a woman or they're of a certain race or religion, to me, really has nothing to do with leadership style. It's just making sure that, at least for me and our company, that we're putting them in a position to be leaders. I don't worry that they can do it. What I look at is just make sure, are we putting, in this case in particular, women in a position to be leaders. I don't really worry about the style, because I think, everyone is just as capable as the next person.
For like women and even minorities, how do you think the media would affect them in developing into a leadership role?
Well, I think it's a good question. The media is, they will hang on to certain stories and do a lot of generalization. There's also a lot of great things in the media too. So, and by the nature of a lot of the sites that we run, we are media. Like IGN is probably the largest media outlet in gaming and entertainment, and PCMag.com is one of the largest media outlets for reviews of consumer electronic products. So I understand that side of it. Where I think I'll sort of reframe the question is not so much media, but social media, right? So there's sites like Glassdoor, you may or may not be familiar with that, where people basically go in and they rate employers, right? Like, we pay attention to what's our employer rating on Glassdoor, and what are people saying about us on LinkedIn. And I think, the media has an aspect, but the average employee now has a voice box if they feel that they were wrong, and they leave a company, just like anyone who leaves a review on Yelp or something like that. So everyone has a voice now. And so now, do I think you can make everybody happy? No. But do I think you can make sure you always have the right intentions? Yes. And that's why I think we spend a lot of time looking at more of the social level, Glassdoor, LinkedIn, that kind of stuff, and how that we are being perceived there. Then we worry about the way media is generalizing certain categories of genders.
Social media is related to like the improvement of technology, but would you consider technology to make managing an easier or harder job for people to do?
It's a good question. I mean, it can be a little bit of both. So, as I mentioned in the beginning of our discussion, I've got most of my employees are not in the office that I sit in, and I travel a fair amount. I travel easily over 100,000 miles a year. But, using Google Hangout and being able to do that, and everyone points up between Google Hangout, and we're doing much more video conferencing. Fantastic. We recently, at the end of last year, we used a product called Workplace by Facebook. So basically, it's Facebook, but for work. And that allows us to communicate with employees, and employees to communicate with each other and see each other's faces in a really good and meaningful way. And it's actually been a great tool for the company. And then also, in order to be, in my opinion, at least in my field and territory, we have to be able to hire people wherever they are. So, we put a great emphasis on, just because you're based in San Francisco, we don't say you have to hire that person in San Francisco. You hire them remotely. I've got a lot of remote employees that are working from home. And in order to be able to do that, technology plays a very, very important role in our ability to coordinate and communicate. So for us, technology is a blessing that allows us certain flexibility. And I think there's other places that, may not want that, say, work remotely or work from home and that kind of stuff. So therefore, technology is probably a little bit of a negative for them.
This is the final question I'm going to ask you,
Sure.
But is there a leader in your life that has like affected you that you have looked up to and even tried to emulate in your career?
Yeah, I mean, I've a couple actually, and I've been very thankful for that, because I do feel, the concept of being a really good manager or a mentor is a little bit lost these days. And so, one of my first jobs out of college, my first real job out of college, when I moved to Atlanta at Turner Broadcasting, was a woman named Ronnie Gunnarsson, and she ran all of PR for, at the time, was a company called Turner Home Entertainment. And she really instituted the concept to me to act as if, like, there's no reason why you can't do that. Like, you hold yourself back. And the most important branding vehicle there is actually in the company is the phone. And when the phone rings in someone else's office and they see that, Steve Horowitz is calling, what does that mean to them? Do they want to take that call? Do they not want to take that call? Are you a pain in the butt? Are you good? Do they get value out of it? Do they not? So she really helped me understand how to better perceive myself and give myself more confidence. Later in my career, I worked at a company called Bankrate, and a gentleman named Tom Evans. He was a great guy and still a mentor to me to this day. And I just always, for him, I saw that, just the ability to be steady, the ability to, no matter what was going on in the company, that guy was doing his crossword, New York Times crossword puzzle at 8:05 every morning. Didn't matter, revenue was up, down, like he had a calmness to him that then, went around the rest of the company. And the other thing is, he always had time. I've never seen Tom turn down a meeting with somebody's son who wants an intern, or somebody he always made time, regardless of whether the person was the VP or the person was, in facilities. He always made time, and he treated everyone the same way, and that was really important for me to see as well. Because you are the sum total of, what you learn from the people who manage you, just like in school. You're partly sum the total of what you learn, and that's why your teachers and your coaches is so important as well.
Wow. I want to thank you for your time, and thank you for sharing your experiences with us.
All right, buddy. Well, you, and I look forward to having you intern for us at some point in the future. Maybe we'll get you out an intern at IGN in San Francisco or something.
That's the goal. Thank you.
All right.